So on a regular basis, we invite speakers from great companies who are recognized for their excellent customer experience. Today, I'm glad to welcome Douglas from E.ON. E.ON is a European energy company, and Douglas has been responsible for launching the Customer Centricity program in Spain 3 years ago. And today you will hear two stories in one. So Douglas will present to you how the Net Promoter Score was implemented within the group and how it did sponsor this deployment in Spain. Douglas, welcome.
I'm responsible for marketing for E.ON Spain. Okay, E.ON Spain, we have 3 businesses. We have the power plants, one of which is in Tarragona. We have a grid company, okay, and we have the customers. So the customers, we have 700,000 customers. We are the 5th largest player in Spain, okay? And I'm responsible for things like product development, retention, customer centricity, business intelligence. One of the things my first task was to launch the Customer Centricity program in Spain, okay? And I would tell you that I was a bit skeptical at the beginning. I was a bit skeptical, and I was basically challenging everyone, saying, but how can we please customers with such a commoditized business? You know, the power goes on, off, it's the same color irrespective of your company. And also our program, as you will see later, is all about getting customer advocacy. So basically getting customers recommending us. So I challenged again and I said, how on earth I can imagine someone having dinner with friends and talking about, you know, such a great power company? It was crazy for me at that time. Now, 3 years down the road, I can tell you that there are many ways in which we can do this, and we are doing this effectively. So this is a bit the story I want to tell you, the story of a company which took a radical change on its strategy. Because we want to maximize this value, not just because of altruism, but because at the end of the day, we want to make more money for our shareholders. We have done studies that promoters refer 9 times more than detractors. So do positive referrals. They also churn 3 times less. Churn is basically changing your power company. So they leave us 3 times less. They are more loyal. They also command a higher share of wallet. So they buy more stuff from us. And they call us less times to the call center. So it's, at the end of the day, transforming detractors to promoters is a great business. Because they will recommend, they will stay with you, they will call you less. Customer profitability is improved. And our plan is around how to turn detractors into promoters. Actively manage our customers when they have a problem. We call the problems a moment of truth. And why? Because we find out that the customers do not think a lot about E.ON in their day-to-day lives. They do not. I would love it, but they just do not. However, if they do have a problem, they think about you and very intensively about E.ON. So that is a moment of truth. If you fix the problem, they will love you. NPS will rocket to the sky. If you're not there by the side at that moment, then you lose him. And you lose him forever. It's impossible to turn around. I'll talk about later about this concept because it's a cornerstone of what we do. And finally, from a governance perspective, I think that our plan has also some lessons learned, which is first what I mentioned of just picking up one common metric. Okay, I used to work in the telecom sector as a consultant many years ago, and I remember that we were looking at the quality reports, and they have like 40 KPIs. And then when we sat together to discuss them, we couldn't get a common diagnostic because everyone was talking about a different metric. No? It's very important to just pick one. NPS, CSAT, whatever. The metric, to me, it's almost irrelevant. The important thing is how you live it, how you use it to get customer feedback, to talk about it, to do actions, real actions, to improve that one.
Let's start maybe, Douglas, with a question from the web, just linked to what you just said a few seconds ago. Was it easy to implement this NPS? How were you able to convince and get the buy-in And there are two examples. So the call center agents, you were talking about the feedback process that might be tricky. And the other one was you were talking about leadership meetings on a monthly basis. So how were you able to achieve that? Was it easy?
It was not easy, for sure. It was not easy. I remember the first time. Also, we have our call center provider is outsourced. Okay, so I remember the first time going there, telling them the concept. They really were a bit resistant. Why? Because they thought that they would use this for performance management. Okay, so to pay them the bonus, etc. So the first thing we clearly mentioned to them that this is not for performance management. This is if you want to improve the way you do your job and the way you treat customers. This is a learning tool. Okay, with the feedback, with the manager listen to the figure. It's nothing to do with the financial reward. Okay, and this seemed to lower their barriers, and then we started doing it. And also very important, we discussed very much the number of calls, feedback calls that an agent would have to listen each week. So at the beginning we want them to listen 10 calls, and then we realized that 10 calls is a lot. It's a lot of time. I myself listen to calls once a week, and I can only listen one because I'm always busy, etc. So we said, okay, with 2 or 3 we are fine, and they are listening to 2 calls per week. This is more than fine, because at the end of the year, this would mean that the single agent would listen to 100 calls, feedback calls.
Thank you, Douglas. We are at the end of the hour, so thanks a lot for sharing this with us. Thanks a lot for this interactive session and your questions, and thanks again, Douglas.
Oh, thanks to you.